कर रहे हैं तो सवाल ये उठते हैं कि रेड जो हुई वो एक्साइज पॉलिसी को लेकर हुई और आप एजुकेशन और हेल्थ पे चले जाते हैं। ये नहीं बता रहे कि आपने जो पॉलिसी में लास्ट में बंद करके पुरानी पॉलिसी को शुरू किया, उससे आपको अगर फायदा था तो आपने बदली क्यों?
देखो, मैं अभी बोला कि मुद्दा तो एक्साइज पॉलिसी का भ्रष्टाचार है ही नहीं तो अगर एक्साइज पॉलिसी का भ्रष्टाचार होता तो आज गुजरात में रेड हो रही होती। हुज ट्रेजेडी हो गई गुजरात में। कौन कर रहा है? वहां पे सीबीआई रेड नहीं कर रहे, वहां पे ईडी रेड नहीं कर रही, यहाँ पे हो रही है ईडी सीबीआई रेड। मुझे जेल भेजेंगे, उन लोगों को जेल भेजते। इनके ही तो लोग हैं वो करा रहे हैं, 10,000 करोड़ की चोरी कर ले रहे हैं, लोग मरवा रहे हैं। तो मुद्दा तो असली है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल को कैसे रोकना है।
बीजेपी पहले दिन से आरोप लगा रही है कि 144 करोड़ रुपए जो हैं छात्रों के रिफंड किए गए और ये चीफ सेक्रेटरी की रिपोर्ट में भी ये वाली बात है जिसके
मैं कह रहा हूँ ये सीबीआई की एफआईआर है। इसमें मनोज तिवारी के 8,000 करोड़ का घोटाला कहाँ है? इसमें बीजेपी के नेताओं के 1,100 करोड़ वाला घोटाला कहाँ है जो कह रहे हैं? इसमें वो 140 करोड़ का घोटाला कहाँ है? बताएं। इसमें लिखा है कि सोर्सेज कह रहे हैं कि 1 करोड़ का घोटाला हुआ है।
मनीष जी, सीबीआई की एफआईआर में ये कहा है कि पब्लिक सर्वेंट ने पॉलिसी को बनाते हुए अंडू फेवर जो मिडलमैन और उसको इसमें समीर महेंद्र है उससे जो एक पैसा ट्रांसफर किया 1 करोड़ रुपए वो दिनेश अरोड़ा की आम आदमी पार्टी के लीडर का बड़ा करीबी है। सर क्या संबंध है? अरोड़ा को जानते हैं?
क्या ये
क्या है?
मैं तो कह रहा हूं अगर मुद्दा घोटाला होता तो आज सीबीआई बड़े बड़े जो किंग पिंस 10,000 करोड़ का घोटाला कर रहे हैं उनके यहाँ बैठे होते। मेरे यहाँ किसी के यहाँ बैठे हैं, उनको भी पता है कि घोटाला नहीं है, बैठे हैं, ठीक है। थैंक यू।
So that was Manish Sisodia there holding a press conference and summing up his counters to all the allegations. Most importantly, he spoke about that FIR that was filed by the CBI. He says while the BJP is alleging that thousands of crores of scams have been done, the fact is that in that FIR it just says 1 crore was perhaps sources say that 1 crore was transferred by somebody close to Manish Sisodia, and that is the most that the FIR says. And with this regard, I'm going across to my colleague Rupashri Nanda to sum up the crux of Manish Sisodia's counters. Rupashri, he very pertinently spoke about the fact that all those allegations of thousands of crores that are coming from BJP are somehow not there in that FIR from the CBI.
Absolutely. In fact, as I have been pointing out also since morning, Aam Aadmi Party's sources and leaders, when they have had a look at the FIR, they do not find those specifics being mentioned in the FIR, as has been discussed by various BJP leaders and as it has also been discussed in the press and the media. But the big takeaway from Manish Sisodia's press conference was one line: "मैं भ्रष्ट नहीं हूँ, मैं केजरीवाल का शिक्षा मंत्री हूँ." So essentially, he is defending himself. He is also defending the excise policy, and that is extremely important coming at a time when Sisodia himself is under the scanner and there are mounting questions on Delhi government's own excise policy. So even at this point, Manish Sisodia is saying that it is actually the country's best excise policy and would have succeeded had the then Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Anil Baijal, not put a spanner in the works in the last 48 hours. The third big takeaway, of course, is that Manish Sisodia is completely targeting the BJP again. I remember the press clipping that he showed you at the beginning of the press conference, and that is a press clipping during of COVID times. At that particular time, the government of India was actually not at all happy with that sort of a picture coming out of India and published in an international newspaper. So Manish Sisodia is trying to draw a parallel between the story that was published during COVID times by New York Times and the story that was published now of the Delhi government's work in schools. The big takeaway, of course, is that he himself said that he is going to the CBI is going to arrest me in 2 to 3 days or 4 days, he is going to be arrested. That is what he has said. He also went on to say that not just me, even other Aam Aadmi Party leaders are going to be arrested. And he tried to make the point that this issue is not about corruption. His argument was that it is if it was about corruption, then there would have been investigations also, similar investigations also when other big things have happened. For instance, the collapse of a part of the Bundelkhand Expressway after it was inaugurated by the Prime Minister, or the huge tragedy in Gujarat, and why there is Gujarat being a dry state, there's loss of revenue to the tune, he said, of 10,000 crores, but no ED action happens over there, no CBI action happens over there. So Manish Sisodia bracing himself for an arrest which seems absolutely imminent. Manish Sisodia defending his excise policy ahead of that possible arrest. Manish Sisodia saying that he has been targeted and Satyendra Jain have been targeted because of the Delhi government's school model and Delhi government's work in education and health, and he is clearly saying and defending himself by saying that he is not corrupt. So that was the press conference that came out from that Manish Sisodia said on absolutely expected lines. And Sisodia also said that inki parishani Arvind Kejriwal hai. So they are actually rattled by Arvind Kejriwal. They are not rattled with issues of corruption that is happening across the country. And he also tried to make the point that Aam Aadmi Party has been making since yesterday, that 2024 will be a Modi versus Kejriwal battle. Now, this is something that the Aam Aadmi Party is arguing. But I would
Rupashri, that was a big takeaway from the press conference that he held. He said that 2024 will be Arvind Kejriwal versus Narendra Modi, and especially after these raids, that's cemented the fact. I'm going across to my colleague Akash also to bring us more perspective. Akash, we had Manish Sisodia there saying we're not afraid of your agencies, we're not worried, we are followers of Bhagat Singh. But he's also confident that he is going to be arrested in the next 2-3 days. He said in the following days, you're going to see a lot of netas from AAP be arrested. But, despite them not being unafraid of arrest, this is going to be a big hampering to the party when it comes to establishing the national footprint or even a short-term goal, such as the Gujarat elections coming up in December.
Right, and Shilpa, as Rupesh mentioned, this press conference was very much on the expected lines, because this is what we were expecting. Straight from when this all started from 8 a.m., we are seeing that Aam Aadmi Party leaders are trying to set a narrative where they are saying that, Modi government is worried with the growing popularity of Arvind Kejriwal and the party, because initially starting from Delhi, this party won the election in Punjab, and now they are trying their level best in Gujarat and in Himachal Pradesh as well. But talking about this press conference, I'm not involved in any corruption. My only mistake is that I'm the education minister of the Arvind Kejriwal government. So this was main highlighted point of this press conference, where he is trying to say that just because I'm a minister in Delhi government, just because I'm a part of Aam Aadmi Party, that's the reason why I'm targeted as of now. Also, as Aam Aadmi Party is, trying to portray it as a Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal fight, that's the reason why this press conference was very much important, because you see many questions were asked, in fact, after the press conference, where specific allegations were asked about the guy Sandeep Arora and also some others. But, Manish Sisodia maintained that this is not about the corruption, or this is not about this particular excise policy, but just because I'm doing some good work, and